Glad you could join us now on our first story. Inadequate incubators and other facilities, as well as late referrals, are making 50% of babies die within 24 hours after birth as the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. That's the harrowing statistic turned out by the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital during the hospital's 2018 review. Richard Kojonyako has been following the events and filed this report.
The cry of babies at the neonatal intensive care units of the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. Sadly, it is not all the babies here that live to tell the stories they brought forth with to the world. Some barely spend 24 hours in this world. 50% of them die within 24 hours and 80% of them die within a week after their birth. Yema Mariama Bukari is a specialist pediatrician at the hospital.
It has to do with referrals, it has to do with equipment, it has to do with expertise, it has to do with infrastructure. And even that does not solve all of the problems. There are many more. So looking at referrals, we still have problems where people are being referred late. And I'm saying that because when you look at the internal audits that we do as a department, looking at our neonatal deaths, we realize that 50% of our deaths are dying within the first 24 hours when it comes to newborns. So generally, all the newborn mortalities, 60% of our mortalities, the deaths, are from outside referrals. And then 40% are inborn, that is from the delivery suite. If you want to see those who are dying within the first week, it goes up to about 80%. So most of our mortalities are within the first week.
Practically, the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital has no neonatal intensive care unit. The unit is more of a makeshift structure. Simply put, the unit purchased with another department. As at the end of 2018, they had only one functional incubator. That's not all. Nurses and doctors here go through hectic moments in order to save babies here because equipment and other supporting facilities are practically not there.
Towards the latter part of 2018, we only had one incubator. That poses a risk because you have babies who are very low birth weight babies, 1 kilo, 1.5 kilo, and you need the incubator to keep and provide warmth for these babies. And if one person is there already and you're taking a call from a referral center that, oh, you know, I have a 1 kilo baby I'm sending to you, it is very difficult. We still accept, but we are not able to provide all that warmth. And I'm just using incubator, but there's also a machine which gives light, which we call phototherapy.
This is a referral facility that caters for the close to 3 million population of the central region and even beyond. Acting CEO of the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, Dr. Eric Njedu, says the hospital is soliciting support to deal with the challenge.
As we indicated in the performance review, we lack adequate space to contain the neonates that are referred to this hospital. In actual sense, we don't have a neonatal intensive care unit. We have, as the board and management, submitted proposal for development of such structure with benevolent organizations, and the ministry is deeply aware and is making effort to also look at how such edifice can be erected. In the interim, they need to create space within the existing hospital infrastructure and then put up gadgets like baby warmers, phototherapy machines and incubators to be able to house these neonates when they are referred to our facility.
Until the hospital is supported to deal with this heartbreaking situation, babies born here would continue to die. Richard Kojonyako, Joy News, Cape Coast.
Now, a 7-year-old girl who was allegedly knocked down by a motor rider 3 days ago at Yale in the then northern region, Zulaiha Hussaini, has been left paralyzed with no hope of walking again. Her dream to get education is almost fading. Mother of the girl has not, and she's now hoping only for her daughter to recover and walk again. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin visited Zulaiha and her parents, now living at Accra in the Ashanti region.
Zulaiha Hussaini smiles. Behind the smile, however, is a reality of two inactive legs as she lay slackly on the floor. Zulaiha can neither stand nor walk. She drags herself from one point to another to be able to play with other children. Take a look at this. Looking from this side of her body, she looks healthy and hearty. All is, however, not well for little Zulaiha. About 4 years ago, a motor rider ran into Zulaiha and her mother, Salah, at Diale near Sakasaka in Tamale. At age 3 then, Zulaiha fell from behind and the rider allegedly ran over her, as narrated by her mom.
I was from Diale, crossing the road to Sakasaka when a motor rider ran into us. My daughter fell from my back. The rider ran over her and she eventually had head injury. She underwent surgery and after recovery, she couldn't walk again.
Salah collapsed at the site of the accident. The culprit absconded and left the poor woman to foot the hospital bills all by herself.
I
collapsed in the process and could not have identified the rider. He eventually absconded and Zulaiha's uncle was taking care of her until the doctors needed 4,000 Ghana cedis for the surgery. He could not also afford and left her to her fate. I had to struggle to pay the bills. We sought treatment from one medical doctor to the other, but she couldn't walk. Doctors said the accident affected her veins.
The family has consulted one traditional doctor after the other for help without success. Salah has no clue what the future holds for her daughter. She is worried and wonders how to manage the situation when Zulaiha enters her puberty age and begins to menstruate.
I have really suffered, and I keep thinking about how her situation would look like when she reaches her puberty age and starts to menstruate. Even now, answering to nature's call has been a challenge for her.
There's one thing Zulaiha wants to tell her mom.
She always tells me if she could walk, she wouldn't have been in her current state. So I should get her a wheelchair. But I tell her to look up to God, because that could be her destiny.
Zulaiha's family hopes things will change for the better. For now, she'll have to endure this kind of situation. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reporting for Joy News.
The mother of a 9-year-old girl who suffered severe injuries as she tried to flee from her teacher who was sexually assaulting her in a school at Kaswa has revealed she came under intense pressure to resolve the matter at home. Her resolve and the media spotlight on the case led to the prosecution of the teacher and subsequent incarceration last year. Months after the incident, the 9-year-old girl who was unable to walk has recovered and gone back to school. Joy News' Maxwell Agbagba visited the family at Kaswa to find out the condition of the victim.
Abna
not her real name, struggling to narrate what happened to her when we met her sometime last year. A pillow supported her back in a plastic chair. A girl in pain.
Hands in my head and said my father has asked him to provide all my needs. He put me on one of the tables and started inserting his fingers in my genitals. It was painful. I started struggling with him. In an attempt to flee, my pelvis hit one of the tables. I fell down and later ran home with my younger sister.
She suffered a pelvic fracture and was later diagnosed with a spinal injury. The Apostle General of the Royal House Chapel, Sam Kranche Accra, later offered to pay her medical bills and fees from junior high school to the university level. Many months after, Abna is fine now. It is morning and she's walking to school. The anguish and pain are over. Her new school has given her renewed hope to attain her aspirations. Her words are few, but her heart abounds with gratitude.
I want to be a doctor, so I will be able to take care of my mother. I want to say thank you to all who helped me.
My name is Enoch Comfort.
Enoch?
Yeah.
Enoch Comfort?
Comfort.
Comfort?
Yes.
It's not Comfort. I've now met the Chief Executive Officer of the Kids Foundation, Enoch Comfort. His organization helps victims of sexual abuse. He says there are other aspects of Abna's recovery process they are still working on.
She has a lot of, let me put it, identity challenges. So it will take a lot of work to, counsel her and then bring her to a normal state. She has this low self-esteem, and so we're trying to, counsel her so that she can come back to. The incident has also played a part because, the fear of, communicating effectively, because she getting scared of, maybe if I reveal my secret to you, you may take advantage of it and then do something nasty to me.
More than 1,000 children were defiled in Ghana in the years 2015, 2016, and 2017. These are just reported cases, as many of these incidents go unreported. Family members sometimes settle for compensation and choose to resolve the matter at home. Abna's mother faced that pressure too, but her resolve and media attention helped her to surmount it. She's advising parents who find themselves in similar situations not to settle the cases at home for a pittance as compensation. She's admonishing them to demand justice.
Still live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Dazi. Still up ahead in the bulletin, the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service says it is investigating death threats on the life of head of Joy News Investigative Desk, Manasseh Azuriawuni. Stay with us. Thanks for joining us. This is still Joy News today with me, Daniel Dazi. Now, the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service says it is investigating death threats on the life of head of Joy News Investigative Desk, Manasseh Azuriawuni. The threats come in the wake of Joy News' latest work, which exposed the presence of a political party militia group at the Christian Borg Castle in Osu. Joining me in studio is my Joy Alliance editor, Malik Abbas Dabu, with more on this development. Malik, where are these threats coming from?
Well, then we know that these threats are coming from persons who have been affected by the documentary. What we can state is that this is neither sanctioned or endorsed by either the party or the government. Nonetheless, we do know that these threats have been made. The information that we have gathered relating to them have been forwarded to the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service. The police itself indicated that before we came in with our information and reports, they themselves had picked up intelligence regarding this, and they are following the leads that they believe may lead to them unraveling the persons behind this and whether they represent any serious threat to the gentleman's life.
How's Manasseh himself doing?
Oh, he's great. I mean, he's walking around here. We're with him this morning. He's unshaken by this. We do receive some of these threats and things usually when you do a big story such as we have done. But we're not leaving anything to chance. It's the reason why we have made a complaint to the CID, and the CID is following up on it.
Thank you very much, Malik Abbas Dabo. Now, in a related development, the president of the Ghana Journalists Association, Roland Afeomoni, has commended Joy News for the latest investigative piece on the I Group to sustain the campaign to disband party militias. Speaking on the sidelines of an event to inaugurate the newly refurbished press center of the Ministry of Information, he said Joy News' decision to show the documentary demonstrates courage which is worthy of emulation.
I think Manasseh deserves commendation, and Joy FM for having the courage to come out with such a piece at a time when, you know, it's very difficult because look at the backlash from certain supporters, even from journalists. And it tells you that, you know, you need a tougher skin and professional dexterity to do what Manasseh did. The debate continues that as a nation, we have a responsibility imposed by necessity to deal with vigilantism once and for all. All of us are at risk, not only political actors, also journalists, because we go out to report and we encounter them. But what happened at I also West Wagum, the shooting incidents. Any journalist could have fallen victim of stray bullet, but thank God no journalist was hit. So must we allow the West to happen before we act? The answer is no. So we commend Joy FM for the campaign it has launched. Until all of us ought to lend our support to this campaign to rid our country of thuggery and excessive force in our body politic.
Now, we stay on this subject because the Member of Parliament for Ponkatamanso, Nilaye Afote Agbo, says he does not believe in the inclusion of party militias in providing security in the country. According to the former Greater Accra minister, politicians must join forces to disband the services of party militias because they have nothing good to offer the country. Mr. Afote Agbo says if the Commission of Inquiry into the Ayawaso West Wuogon violence outcome is fair, it will help disband militias in Ghana. He made this call on the sidelines of the inauguration ceremony of church executives at Jehovah's Tree of Life Church International in Accra.
Those who have been put on the commission are very eloquent people who have good records in this, good track record in this country. We all have respect for all of them because some of us met them when we were very young, and we don't have the doubt at all in our minds that they can do something good until they fail to do, or they fail everybody. Then we will know whether they've changed their attitudes or whether they've changed, or what we have known them for is still what they are. So I have the confidence as an individual that through their efforts and the sitting, this vigilantism will come to an end, because some of us do not believe in it. I've been a member of parliament for 4 terms, for almost 60 years in this country. I've never relied and used any vigilantism or any macho man or any landguard to do anything for me. And when I was also a regional minister, we did not rely on any vigilantism or any macho man to come and do anything extraordinary for us. The most important thing is that as a politician, you must make sure that things are done well. The people are given the needed respect and recognition and the needed relief that they need, and the development that they need in their catchment areas. With that, you will not be found wanted. Vigilantism will not do anything for a politician. So we should not rely on it.
Still live on Joy News today. Now we stay on the matter of arms related a bit to party militias because the chairman of the International Network for Small Arms is advocating planned searches to reduce illicit arms in circulation. Now speaking on News Desk on Dr. Kwesi Enin's revelation that the Ashanti region is the entry point for smuggling and distribution of arms within the sub-region, Dr. Bafo Dochi Amwa noted that circulation of illicit arms is wider than perceived.
Because I've been in this field since 1998 and I know the situation and the factors that have contributed to this. The Ashanti being where it is meant that there were routes that would bring arms from Liberia, from Sierra Leone, from Cote d'Ivoire, maybe passing through to conflict areas and even to Nigeria and to Burkina Faso. So that's why I'm not surprised. If we were sort of renaming regions in our country today, Ashanti region would be described as the central region, if you like, of the country. And it's one place where you have people doing business from Niger, from Cote d'Ivoire, from many places. They all transit through Ashanti region. And that is what has contributed to make Ashanti region, if you like, the hub. When you give arms to young people who cannot control their temper in the face of provocation, it's a very dangerous phenomenon. And so having so many young people wielding arms in the Ashanti region is a very dangerous phenomenon. Now, if you transpose that into vigilantism, then we are preparing to burn this country down, as far as I'm concerned. Because when young people get excited with alcohol or with whatever drugs that they are giving, and they go on rampage, I don't know which policeman can even stop them. We've seen in countries where when young people take to the streets with arms, even military is not able to stop them. The recent statement by His Excellency the President is something, if we all want to support, will bring comfort to us in this in dealing with this situation. If the major parties don't sit down to discuss the issue of vigilantism seriously and try to eradicate it from our body politic, none of them will be saved. If it explodes, neither the president nor the opposition party leaders, none will be saved. Because I've seen it in Liberia, I saw it in Freetown, and it is frightening. The first step proposed by the president, I hope we can all support, if the big parties will sit down and jojo and say that we will find other things for our young men to do and not to arm them. That is the first step. The second step is that we've said it many times, but we don't know whether it's the resources or whatever. It's time for the security agencies to plan to condone areas and search for arms and retrieve arms. Voluntary surrender of weapons, I'm not so sure how successful we have been. Under 3 years ago, the study by Kofi Annan showed that 62% of the people they interview, they have illegal weapons, but they are not ready to surrender them voluntarily. That means people are glued to their weapons, and they will use it in the event that they have to. They will. So I think we need to find ways and means to get these weapons out of our homes, out of our communities, especially where they make them. We need to find ways and means to stop this production.
Now, away from the subjects of militias and arms, the Director of Research at the Motor Traffic and Transport Department, Superintendent Alex Obing, is warning drivers not to tint the windscreens of their vehicles. Cars with tinted windscreens are now becoming a trend, leaving law enforcement agencies concerned. Maxwell Agbagba interacted with him during some routine checks by the East Legon Police.
We are currently here at East Legon. The MTTD here is actually embarking on an exercise to clamp down on drivers who break road traffic regulations. We have with us right now the head of research at the MTTD, Chief Superintendent Obeng. He's going to tell us more about this exercise and what they seek to achieve with this.
Our rules of engagement is very clear, that occupants should be seen anytime they are on their vehicle driving on our roads, should be seen, particularly by police officers. And at all times, the driver should also not be impeded. Because when you look at Regulation 101 of Road Traffic Regulations, it talks about driving of vehicles. And it says that at all times, the driver of this vehicle is supposed to have full control of the vehicle and full, clear visibility of traffic. And that is why when you go in the airline, it also says that at no time should the vehicle owner or the driver put any tint material on the windscreen. It should be left clear so that the driver can have clear visibility of traffic ahead. And so for the windscreen, you will see many of the vehicles as you see around. The windscreens are clear, and that is our standards. So when you see a driver putting any tint material on the windscreen, he or she has gone his own way, and it's a clear infraction. And that's why that vehicle was stopped and was impounded for the vehicle to that defect on the windscreen to be rectified by removing the tint material or that film on the windscreen so that the windscreen will be clearer for him when he's driving day and night. When you tint your vehicle, it should allow about 70% intrusion. So you don't have to blur the eyes and the intrusion of the traffic police officer and other law enforcement agents. Okay? So that they can see occupants. Well, if the vehicle is hijacked, if you are kidnapped, if immoral activities are ongoing, if you are not wearing seatbelt, if you are on mobile phone, then we can see through and prevent anything that may issue out of that. So these are basic regulations that all of us have to.
What about? Still watching Joy News today with me, Daniel Dazen. Now, still up ahead, government touts recent economic reforms as having a positive impact on the business community. More on that in the business segment shortly.